as it relates to mobile, I think we've been exploring that for quite some time. As I think a lot of our players know, we are not folks that try to force our games on a platform. We'd like them to be as across as many platforms as possible, but a lot of the games that we've built have not really lent themselves to doing that. Good news, if you look at Hearthstone, I think that product really does. And so today we announced that we were going to make Hearthstone available on iPhone as well as on Android devices as well. We had also mentioned previously, obviously, it'd be available on PC and on tablets. So we're pretty excited about that. We feel like it's a great game. It's a game that is exceptionally charming, and it's very easy to get into, but it has a tremendous amount of depth. And it's, I think, significantly more fun, far more fun than I expected. And I know that sounds kind of funny for me to say, but it was one of the games that, quite frankly, I was a little bit nervous about early on. And it is absolutely wonderful, and it has just totally captured my heart. And so I think that's a really cool thing. And the fact that we're going to be able to make that available to such a broad audience, you know, one might say that type of card game could be viewed as a niche type of game. And if you did it on one platform, maybe it would be. But when you can make this available across all these different devices, and you see how easy it is to get into it and how charming it is and how fun to play it is, I really feel like it's something that could be really special out there. So we're excited about it.
What were you nervous about?
I was nervous because I thought a card game, I thought, wow, how many people can that reach? How broad of an audience really is going to get into that? And I think my skepticism was wonderful, because I was always saying that to the developers, and they would just kind of shake their head and like, okay, dude, yeah, okay, yeah. But I've apologized to all of them and told them I was wrong, and was never happier to tell anyone I was wrong than on this one. So I think it's a really exciting time, because we're going to be out on these various platforms, and we've got a game that I think is truly special. I think, again, it was what brought us back to console is the game that we chose. It really lends itself to being on console and being in the living room. If you think about like our RTSs, and you think about what the control scheme is for an RTS, doing that on a controller in the living room, it's kind of hard to imagine how that would be awesome, at least in my opinion. I think when you think about an action RPG, a hack and slash type of experience, like Diablo, gosh, I think that there's no game we've ever made that was better for a console experience. And so because of that, I think all of us noticed it, and we all felt like, hey, we'd like to be on every platform we reasonably can that makes sense. In this case, it does. It makes sense. It really feels right. And I think for us, any future games that we deliver, if it makes sense, if we think the experience would be a really great experience on other platforms, whether it be console or it be on, you know, tablet, or it be on a mobile device, if we're able to do that, then I think that we're really open to it. I think for a long time people believed that we just were a PC company and we just wanted to make PC games and that was it. It really wasn't that. It was that the games we were making, we didn't feel would be as great of an experience on those other platforms, and we didn't want to force it. You get only so many opportunities with building trust or damaging your trust, and we felt damaging trust with the players, and we felt like that can happen on you know, what platforms you choose too. If you're trying to milk a product by putting it on more platforms when it's not right, well, then that's a brand withdrawal. It's a trust withdrawal with those players, and so that's what it's all about for us, making the best games we possibly can come up with that we want to play, and then putting them on the right boxes, you know, and right platforms to really make them sing. I think there are certain games that are more of a single player experience, and you kind of want to just be engaged on your own, and there's others that are much more social. So I think what games you will see on Valve's box will be very much dependent on what types of games they are, whether the user interface lends itself, whether it is a social type of experience, whether it's something that you want to sit out in the middle of your living room, in the middle of your house or apartment doing, or if it's something that you want to do more in, you know, behind an office door. I think it just kind of depends on the player, it depends on the game, and it depends on the experience that the developers are trying to deliver to the player. But I do think this. I think Valve is a really great company. I think Gabe and his team have consistently and regularly done great stuff. And, you know, I think if anybody can do it, they can.
Are you excited about the Steam Machine?
I'm excited to see what they do, to be honest. I mean, you know, obviously with Steam, they've done great things. They're a talented group. And I would say that if anybody's going to do it, it would be them. How do we feel about new IPs? Do we want to do new IPs, or do we want to kind of stick with the IPs that we've built thus far? I think it's a combination. We absolutely want to continue to support the franchises that we have created. So Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo, those are franchises that have a tremendous following. We think that we've done some pretty incredible games. We think that those game worlds are rich and wonderful. And so we want to continue to build upon those and to continue to feed the desires that our players have to continue to traverse and explore those universes. As it relates to new franchises, I think that all of us would love to see us do a new franchise. What that really comes down to is having the right game and having the right reasons and the right new kind of world to wrap around that game. And I think it's difficult to launch a new franchise. I think it's risky to launch a new franchise, but that has never been the reason to deter us. It's always been about, let's do what we think is the game we want to play next. What is the best franchise for that? Is it an existing franchise, or is it one that we should create? And I think that we have no concern and no hesitancy to build a new franchise if we have the right ideas and the right game to pair it with. And so hopefully we'll have some of those things to talk about at some point in the future. We certainly, I think, are desirous of that. You know, if we wanted to have a similar type of card game, but from one of our other franchises using, you know, that engine or using the kind of model that has been built with that, it's certainly possible. I wouldn't rule it out, but I would say that we're really focusing on Hearthstone and you know, tying it to the Warcraft universe at this time. But time will tell. I mean, if that game really is widely accepted and people really love it, and we think that there's something great we could do for one of our other franchises in relation to that, I don't think we would hesitate. I mean, the fact that we're doing Heroes of the Storm and we're doing a kind of a mix of heroes and villains from all of our franchises all in one, I think that indicates that we have an openness to it if it's the right thing. I'm exceptionally excited about the Warcraft movie. I think that it's something that we've been working on for a long time. It's a real passion project for me and Chris specifically, because Chris and I spent years in Hollywood pitching this and trying to make something happen in each of our franchises. And we really kind of settled on Warcraft. We thought it was the right thing, and we talked to everybody and their mother. And we really didn't want to settle. And we talked to a lot of people that were interested. We had a lot of calls from a lot of different production companies and studios saying, hey, we want to do something with you guys in this space. And we kept saying, I'm not sure if that's going to be the right one or if that's the right one. And honestly, we met a guy named John Jashny, and we brought him on kind of in a producerial role with us. And at some point, actually at our first BlizzCon, believe it or not, he called me up and he said, I'm going to be there, and I want to share some news with you. And so he got here and he said to me, hey, I'm thinking about joining this company. I think it's really an awesome company, and I think that it would be wonderful to consider having this company do it. I think they have the right people and the right mindset. I think that we may have found the right home. And I said, well, what is this place? And he said, it's Legendary. So he joined Legendary as Chief Creative Officer. And that kind of started this. And as it relates to the movie, we're super excited about it. It's been a long road. We've gone through a number of iterations of screenplays and story ideas and all the things you can possibly imagine. And at the end of the day, because we recognize that there has not been, I'm sorry to say, a spectacular video game movie, we wanted to make sure that we didn't rush it and we didn't just try to push something out and do wrong things. And we also made this decision that we don't want to make a video game movie. What we want to make is a great fantasy movie that the source material happens to be coming from a video game franchise. Just like other great fantasy movies came from other types of source material. We just want it to be a different place that source material comes from. So what we've done is we've really spent a lot of time trying to make sure that the screenplay is great, that we partner with the right people that have tremendous experience of success and understanding how to connect with the audience and create an incredible story and incredibly deep characters, and that really know how to do it. And you know, when you look at the team that's been brought together, you know, Legendary has a tremendous track record. The people that are producing it together with them are the same folks that were involved in the last 3 Batman movies, that were involved in the Superman movies, that were involved in 300, and were involved in the Hangover movies. If you look at those movies that have come out of Legendary, some of those movies are just spectacular. And the teams of people that were involved in those, they're involved. And then we've got this director, Duncan Jones. He is a young, talented as hell director that's had some really great movies he's done. This is his big kind of, you know, coming out party. And this guy is good, and he understands the franchise. He has played Blizzard games since the beginning. He's played every Blizzard game ever, and it wasn't like he did it to get ready for this experience. He's been a gamer with Blizzard for 20 years. And so he knows us, he gets us, he's one of us, and he's committed. They're up in Vancouver, and they've been building sets and getting ready. They get ready to shoot in February. We feel like we have a tremendous team. You know, we've got Weston Hoff, which is the, you know, an Academy Award winner, and we've got a great visual effects house. We've got all of the right pieces of the puzzle. And not only that, it's been a true partnership with us. We have worked side by side with Legendary and the screenwriters and with Duncan in getting the screenplay right. We've been talking about all the casting. We've been working together on all of the visual concepting and costuming and weapons and everything you can possibly imagine. There's been collaboration and discussion, and it's been years in the making. We have no intention of not making sure this is a great movie. And we're really excited about it. We believe in the team, and we think that come 2015, we're going to have something special.